All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is. How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing fine. Ashley Karr in the house, everybody. Yes, Ashley Karr. I'm Paul Tranny, and then we also have the hovering art director, which might kick in a little bit. This little guy right here.
Yes.
He says words as we get to designing.
It feels too designed.
Yeah.
So we don't really like
It
him.
feels too advertising.
All right, enough of
I
you.
actually really appreciate his critical and helpful feedback.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. What's up, Ryan Ford and Fahrenheit 451? Interesting name. Kamal, everybody, welcome. Wondering where you guys are from. Would love to hear. Apologies to Evil Cerise or Tim, because I think Michael accidentally put you in timeout. Like, accidentally. It was totally an accident, and we just want to apologize to you. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So, welcome, everybody. Yeah. Ooh, it looks rehearsed. Oh, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Really?
This looks rehearsed. It's totally not rehearsed. But
Yeah,
I
Paul
will
and I
say
stayed
prepared.
up all night
I would say typically you are prepared. Huh?
practicing. Yes.
That's what I think. Because look at this. We did go over this a little bit yesterday.
Oh,
but,
I dropped them. They're all out of order.
They are all out of order. But we did. You did your homework,
I did.
right? And
did.
we covered this yesterday. You could always watch replays on YouTube, essentially. So you kind of went through your, like, kind of your, I don't know, storyboarding process. I don't know if you want to give everybody like a
A quick overview.
little recap. And I know, I think you have this one, an image of this one.
I do.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. Oh, let's do
at that.
play. Cool.
Tim's back. Sorry about that, Tim. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Frank, Andreas, Nicole. So fun being here.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's really
Yeah,
fun.
it's good.
I enjoy it. And everyone, just so you all know, everyone at Adobe and everyone that's part of the live streams are just very nice people. They're as nice as they seem on camera. So
That's right. Even though Michael really doesn't have a French accent off camera.
right,
That's
is
all
that's
when he's
totally-
live.
Yeah,
It's totally
it's
it.
part of his on-screen persona.
It's all a persona,
He
guys.
sounds like he's from San Diego when he
Yeah,
uses his
he has
real
like a
voice.
surfer voice, guys, like a surfer.
Ciao from Italy. Hello from
Awesome.
Sweden.
Sweden in the house, Germany. Cool. We're again in San Francisco. Well, thank you so much, and you're a true joy to have with us as well. You know, one of the few people that we've had a couple people back, and you are one of those people. So it's super cool having you here, and it's good times.
Thank you. All right. So just a recap of the application that I'm building. It is a hand-drawn icon library app, and it is for sketchnoters. And if you guys don't know what sketchnoting is, it's basically a way to hand draw infographics. It's a short and sweet definition.
Yeah.
And I've been using it in my UX work to kind of shake things up, make things more interesting, and make them more fun for teams. And so this is an abbreviated version of a persona in sketchnote form. So this icon library app would be for someone like Sam, and Sam is 40. He is a UX designer and sketchnoter. He lives in Seattle. And if you don't know anything about sketchnoters, we spend a lot of time developing our iconography. And usually we have big stacks of journals with our hand-drawn icons, and it's hard to take them with us when we travel for work because you have, loads of heavy books, and then it's hard to keep them updated. So having an app like the Icon Library app will let sketchnoters like Sam take pictures of the hand-drawn icons that he's been developing, give them names, put them in a category, and tag them so that he can keep track of them, find them as he's doing his sketchnoting work live. And then also there's a social sharing aspect to it, so other sketchnoters who are on the app can share icons with each other. And you'll find that in the sketchnoting community. People are very open and generous and really supportive of other people and share their work and all of that.
Yeah.
So that is basically the app, and this is an example of sketchnoting to do some of the design documentation and rationale behind the app. here's a structure, and this one, if you see my wobbly lines I said yesterday, I was actually drawing this on an airplane when there was turbulence, so it's not
Pretty good
very
for on
straight.
an airplane
Airplane
turbulence. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
But it's the basic structure of the app that you end up seeing. And I also just kind of left things rough because I like showing people the evolution of designs. You know, you'll start out thinking maybe the structure is going to be, the navigational structure will be like this. And then as you work and as you run a few usability tests, you have to change things. So there are subtle differences between what I had come up with here and then what we're going to be building now. And then if any of you guys are involved in design work of any kind, you're probably used to mood boards. Mood boards or style tiles. This I just did a really quick mood board where I grabbed some inspiration for the look and feel from the Gaia app. And I use Gaia when I'm traveling. I do streaming yoga. And so I just like the look and feel. And then in terms of functionality, I looked a lot at Office Lens, Pinterest, Marie Kondo's new app for organizing the home, and then Instagram. And then the scenario, so this kind of sets the stage for the app. And if I was pitching this app to investors or pitching it to executives, if it was an internal project within a broader company, we would first introduce, in our pitch, we would introduce our executives or our potential investors to the persona. And that would be kind of like the character, the hero of our story. And then we'd set the scene for showing the prototype or doing the software demo with the scenario. So the scenario is that Sam's consulting firm landed a contract with Marie Kondo. I'm a big Marie Kondo fan. So because I get to make this up, I brought in things that I'm passionate about. They're going to design an app that helps people organize and minimize household goods. So Sam has to develop a series of hand-drawn icons relating to household goods to prepare for his client kickoff meeting. And the first icon he's drawn represents a teapot. I also really love tea. So
Cheers.
And then he downloads the My Icons app he heard about so he can keep track of his icons on his phone and reference the app when he sketch notes during his meeting with Marie. And let's watch Sam as he uses My Icons. And then we would roll into the prototype demo, again, if this was an investor pitch or something like that. And so that's where we're at now as designers, building this app that, you know, if this was in real life, because this isn't real life, if this was in real life, we might be using this prototype to get funding from investors. We might be using it to get a project greenlit if it's an internal project. We might be using it to run usability tests, to validate our design, change it, that type of thing. So,
no, that's good. That's a good overview. So hopefully that makes sense. We are seeing some names from yesterday, but I do want to do a shout out to Brian Hickey. He says this is his first time from Canada, so welcome. Louis from Peru, Slovakia in the house. So anyways, Rafael, Mexico. Good to have you guys here.
hello.
Especially first timers. Always good to see ya. I feel like there should be like a hooray first timer thing.
Yeah.
Like it needs to have like a graphic and some confetti.
Didn't we have
hooray
confetti
for
last
Brian.
time?
I think we did. We probably fast.
We had dolphins last time.
Yeah,
Do
we
you remember that?
by day 3 we might get a little loopy, so we'll see what we can come up with. That's
Yeah.
good memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, and on that note, guys, also we're doing a contest as well. So if you guys are aware of that, as you're getting set up, maybe we will just play that video.
Oh, I want
What's
to
that?
show one more thing.
Okay.
Before, sorry, I told everyone that I would post my files online. So if you go to my Twitter feed, it's Design and Think. There's a URL here, which hopefully I did the permissions correctly. If I didn't, let me know, and I can go in later today and set the permissions for public. But inside I might do some other folders in here later, but the prototypes folder, it's the only folder that's in the public folder right now, has the XD files that I prepared ahead of time, and the one that says live stream in the title, that's the one that I am I am literally working from right now. So if anyone wants to follow along, you can go right ahead and do so.
Awesome.
And then I'm gonna just start jamming.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Tim's back at it. Also posted that link. So thank you so much for doing that. Between Tim and Gus, you guys are awesome. So yeah, real fast, I know you're getting set up. I don't know, should we talk about the video? Let's do it. So yeah, just design in XD. Even use Ashley's file as a starting point if you want to, but it does have to be around purchasing, so shopping for anything. So it has to be at least 3 screens. All you have to do is hit that share button to get that link, and how you get it to us is post it to Twitter with the hashtag Adobe Live. So hashtag Adobe Live, that's how we'll get to see it, and you will have a chance to win 1 year of Creative Cloud. So we might even give away 2 Creative Clouds within our time together, just because we're feeling generous today, and Ashley was so kind to us. She likes us, so we're going to give away 2 copies. Cool? All right. Thank you so And now. And then what if we were just quiet for 2 hours as you work?
I would ask. I actually really like to design to. I have 2 genres of music that I'll design to: classical music and meditation music.
Oh, really?
My friends, my coworkers, they joke around, and what they say is it's Ashley's relaxing music. So
relaxing
yeah.
music.
So it's like what they would play.
Does it sound like you're in a, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It probably
Yeah.
sounds like a spa at your place, or
Yeah. So that or classical. And one of my favorites, absolute favorites for people who like classical music and like to design, it's Peter Frankel's Claude Debussy album is just absolutely the best Claude Debussy and it's 2 volumes, and my brother gave it to me like decades ago when we still had CDs, and that's the one that I really love to listen to. And Claire de Lune is my favorite song. So if it was quiet for 2 hours, I would put on a little Claire de Lune and I would rock out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there is actually music, compliments of Andrew Apple Pie playing in the background, even though we don't hear it. There's some music playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. You don't hear it though? It's like
I hear it in my soul.
you go with the beat.
Is this the beat?
I don't know. This is why nobody will dance with me.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
Someone dance with him.
No.
I've got work to do.
Chair dancing.
I'm
a good chair dancer.
A little bigger.
Paul Weaver in the house. Good to see you, Paul. Tim, good times. Yeah, and on occasion there's a cat song that will come on as Juan Pablo mentions. Like some meow. It's like an Andrew Apple Pie song. It's like meowing. It's kind of, and people are like, "Oh, the cat song."
I don't know who Andrew Apple Pie is.
It's okay. You don't. You do now. Actually, it's perfect, good background music. I feel.
Okay.
Good like designer music, if you ask me.
Okay.
So.
I don't really listen to much music other than classical or relaxing music.
You're smart. I just think you're smart if you listen to classical. You're so smart.
No, it's not smart. It's that I'm not cool. That's what it is.
Michael
never
removed
been
the
cool.
cat song. Oh man. Don't worry. I'm gonna find that song. So yeah, you could, as a Creative Cloud member, you can download XD and check it out. Essentially. Yeah, Kevin. Tea drinkers are smart too. Look at you with your antioxidants and classical music. I'm listening to Andrew Apple Pie.
I do it
This
to
may
my-
or may not be vodka. Just kidding.
Well, if anyone knows what an Irish tea is, put it in the chat. And
Irish.
I have-
Ooh, that's with alcohol, isn't it? Or no?
it's you get it in a pint glass, and it's something like Irish breakfast or English breakfast tea, nearly to the top, and then a shot of cream and a shot of whiskey, and that's an Irish tea. So
And that's what you're having right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you like us, because we let you drink alcohol at any point, because it makes for fun streams.
Yes.
Just kidding. That's where. It actually is for PC, Windows 10, just so you know as well.
Mm-hmm.
Adobe XD.
And I think I talked about this keyboard shortcut last time, but I just really love it, and I want to say it again. If you hit enter when you have like a text string or text area selected, and you hit enter, that selects all of your text.
Oh, okay. Enter.
So I use it
I did not know that.
quite a bit.
Huh.
Yeah. That's, I think, one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts. So we actually, oops.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. These guys.
Oh.
Bring it. Make that a symbol.
I'll have to, Tim, I will have to bring back the cat song. And Ariel, good having you here. It looks like from the Philippines, where it's like 4:15 in the morning. So.
Excuse me. Ooh, 4:15 in the morning in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm having fun trying to figure out if I've selected the right thing or not.
What's it?
It's just my eyesight. I think I need glasses. Or I'm just used to a bigger monitor. I think that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think I've got all these as symbols, which is great.
Do you know how to do the screen zoom?
You mean Command plus and Command minus? Or is there
No,
some
it's
other...
like...
Oh,
as
in
a
my system preferences.
We could always set that up.
I should probably do that. I'm nearing 40, and I think I need to get glasses.
And I think this is just a great tip for
Yeah,
anyone
let's do
on
it.
Mac, if you guys don't mind, because this will help us.
Yeah.
System prefs, go to accessibility.
You have to wait a moment, because she's an old girl.
But she's a good girl.
Where'd you go? System preferences? Sorry. Wait, there we go. That's it.
So select zoom.
Zoom.
Use keyboard shortcuts. And I usually do the scroll. I check both of those.
Okay.
So watch this. Hit the second one.
Okay.
And now it's as simple as holding down the control key. Zoop, and then with 2 fingers.
Oh my gosh.
She is going a little slow, but...
Yeah, this is my old computer. I have a day job, and I have a big setup in the office, and this is my personal computer. And I can't use my work computer because of NDAs and security reasons.
Okay.
So I have to... This, and so to get out of it, control...
Go back the other way. Or you could use the keyboard shortcuts. So yeah, there's that. We'll give this a sec. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Okay.
Andreas thought you were in your 20s.
Really? No.
We're gonna go with that.
Getting close.
Yesterday we were in our 70s.
We're in our 70s. No, I really am.
That's why we have to stream and be done by 3.
Because we have to go get our discounts, our early bird
We're
specials.
old people. We're
I'm
like,
gonna have to leave
zoom
this
in.
here.
Zoom in. It's so small. Can you zoom in on that?
Anything.
Zoom. Can you make it bigger?
This is the one thing that I should have anticipated ahead of time.
No, that's good. But see, look at how. I mean, this is great for the stream because definitely.
now people
you're
can
still
see.
not zoomed out all the way.
What do you mean?
You still haven't zoomed out all the way. Have
I
you?
know. I'm still playing with these.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, you're good.
Tell me
No.
what you want me
No,
to
I'm
do.
just saying, like the screen zoom is still on. There
Yeah.
it goes.
It's just really
Oh,
slow.
sorry about that.
It's
Sorry.
just really, really slow to get back to
Got it. It was still doing its thing.
They
Sorry.
assume that people who have bad eyesight also like things to move slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, make this a symbol. All right, so
Ooh.
I've got all my symbols.
So yeah, that's a good. We have some good questions in here. Actually, Julia, you symbol names. We do have symbols, but I guess you can't assign those symbols names.
That's a really good suggestion.
Have to double check that.
So what I've noticed is that, let me flip over to this over here. This button, so this is a symbol. It says symbol 6-1. I would love it if it could be something like camera button. And so you can name the symbol in the layers panel, but I've been paying attention to this. And what was the Julia who asked the question?
It was. I don't know. I can't see it right now.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So that was actually a really good question. And what I've noticed is that I can go into an instance of a symbol and change the name in the layer. And then I can go into another page later on in the prototype, bring in that symbol, and that name doesn't stick. So what I'm hoping is, because it's still in beta, I'm hoping that, in one of the later releases or something, as they continue to improve the software, that they're going to make it so that we can be in control of the name of the symbols.
Yeah, no, that would be good. I'm going to see if there's a way around that.
And this guy I actually wanted.
So, and somebody mentions a good,
Oh, my goodness. Oh, the border was selected. See, that's my... There we are.
let me
I need to make these symbols. This guy. And I think this guy.
So Oleg asks a question. I'm not sure if I fully understand it, but if human factors and systems engineering interesting?
Yes. If you like tea and classical music, you should get a degree in human factors and systems engineering.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
No, I'm
That's funny.
joking.
Does it help in your work now?
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of people don't
Cool.
have never taken the time to really study the history that came before what we now call UX. And so, interestingly, a lot of what we do comes from a long and illustrious tradition that dates back to something called Taylorism. And there was a couple, I forget if they were psychologists or engineers, they were a couple in the early 1900s that would go around and do time and motion studies and things like this in manufacturing plants. And a lot of the studies that they did, we still formulate our studies and our projects in a similar way. Then jump forward to World War II. The Army Air Corps had a man enlisted named Alphonse Champanis, and he was a psychologist. He had gone to, I forget where he went for undergrad, but he was a psychology major, then entered the war, and what he was tasked with was investigating aircraft accidents, and there were statistically significantly more accidents with aircraft that had a particular cockpit display. And so he was investigating why these aircraft had higher accident rates. And he was a psychologist. And what do psychologists do? They ask questions of people and listen to their answers. So he interviewed the pilots, and in particular the pilots who had crashed but survived the crashes. And what he found from his interviews...
I hope he didn't interview the other ones. That wouldn't be a very successful
it wasn't
interview,
a medium, a psychic medium. No. Just the ones that had survived. And he found that most crashes happen toward landing. And there were two levers on this cockpit display that were right next to each other and looked identical to each other, and the tactile feedback, they felt identical to each other. One was for the wing flaps.
And the other one's to crash the plane.
The other one was for the landing gear.
Oh,
and so as the pilots were coming in for landing, they would reach to deploy the landing gear, but they would deploy the wing flaps. And what happens when you put up the wing flaps? The nose of the airplane goes whoop.
Oh, right.
And then if your airplane goes whoop, what does it do right after that?
Goes
And
back
it goes
down.
right down. Wow. So they couldn't remove the aircraft from the theater, right? Because we were at war. We couldn't recall all of these products.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a V1 quick and dirty low budget fix, which was putting a rubber tire on the landing gear lever, and then putting a metal wing on the wing flap lever so that you got visual and tactile feedback, so that you knew which lever you were pulling as you were coming in for a landing, and then the accident rates leveled out after that. And then the longer term fix was to redesign the cockpit displays for the newer models that were coming out, so that those kind of critical features weren't right next to each other and identical in look and feel.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of what we know as human factors engineering in the U.S., ergonomics in the U.K. They are essentially the same thing. The way we use ergonomics in the U.S. is a limited aspect of the definition. And then there's something called Smith and Mosier. It was an Air Force study. It was a compilation of a number of Air Force studies done over, I think, 50s, 60s, and 70s. You can get it for free online. It's a massive PDF. It's like hundreds of pages. So basically, anything you want to know about user interface design for software is in Smith and Mosier. And there is no UI book at all that ever comes out ever that has any information that's not in Smith and Mosier. It's just easier to read, and it's prettier because Air Force reports are not fun to read.
Yeah.
And then Don Norman, of course, if you work in UX and you know UX, Don Norman is the man who coined the term UX in the early 90s when he was contracting with Apple, just south of us. Don Norman started as an electrical engineer. He shifted over to cognitive science. I believe he's in emeritus status now, but he's been at University of California, San Diego for decades, heading up the cognitive science department. So the man who coined the term UX and was the man who was doing it at Apple when the term was coined, and he was doing something that people have been doing for decades. He was an electrical engineer and a cognitive scientist. So this is where the background of what we do actually comes from that lineage, and it kind of intertwined with graphic design I would say it's been happening over the last few decades, but it really, really started to hit warp speed when the iPhone app marketplace was open to third-party developers, and that was, 2008, 2007 when that happened. And then you see this explosion of UX professionals, because basically every company had to become some kind of mini software development company to have some kind of app, whether it was public or internal.
Yeah.
So there's a brief history of our field.
I like it.
And I'm sorry, I was going to say this earlier and I forgot. UX is considered a subfield of human factors if you are a human factors engineer. If you have a lineage that comes from somewhere else, you're going to consider UX a subfield of that. And then I have a tip for everyone out there who is looking to get into UX or looking to up-level their career in UX. I've hired hundreds of people over the course of my career, and I have one question that I always ask everyone, and if they cannot answer this question, I do not hire them no matter how good they are. Guess what the question is?
I don't know. What? I don't know. What one question would you ask someone you're hiring for UI or UX?
Define UX.
Oh, that's good.
And if they can't give me a straight answer, I can't hire them.
That's good. Get metaphors.
Yeah. All right, and so we want this background as well.
You do your thing. I'm going to answer some questions in the chat. Posted that link in there already.
Great.
Yes. Yeah, so I just posted a link to that book, so you guys can check that out. And I think people have been making some prototypes that I want to review.
That's great.
So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm kind of going through that. So yeah, let's see. Simon, did you do a XD design, man? Love to see it. Again, if you guys want to post something to hashtag Adobe Live, we will review it. I'm going to review a couple right now. Let me just refresh that really fast and dive into this real quick. So we'll just switch to my screen. All right. Rick Bossenbrook, if you are here, that'd be fantastic. Let's check out the Sting app. So this is his attempt, or his design. Let's go shopping for men's and women's clothes. I like it already because that looks like a shirt that I wore yesterday. So this one might win. So it does have to be 3 screens. This is looking good. If you click anywhere, you'll typically get this highlight right down here. You see that? As I click off of it, you can see that it's saying, hey, you know what? Click on the shop button, and that will take you back. But this is good. Flyout menu. I would almost want to see this do the transition where it swipes down, but that's awesome. And you know what I'm going to do? Like, I love it. Don't need to be signed in, but you can post comments. Let's take a look at the next one. Lex Valashvili, if I'm saying that correctly. Some more fashion. Kids fashion. A little slider. That's interesting. Slider for the size. Slider for the color. Interesting. Drop down. Oh. Nice. Great job, Rick and Lex. Moving on. I don't know if who's this? Mathematics? Did you guys review this one at all? Chris, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember this one? 11 screens. Take my money. Ha 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 ha. When in doubt, you could always click these arrows. So it looks like I can hit here. Ooh, drone delivery. I like it. Shopper. And I like the name. This is awesome. All right. And that was from Bella Clace. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I'm going to go ahead and give you Creative Cloud just because I have that kind of power. So I think you did a ton of screens. Obviously, posting this thumbnail, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for participating. Notice how right over here it looks like he actually has vertical scrolling going on on that screen as well, which is pretty cool. So Oops, sorry, I just scrolled away. Congratulations to Bello Cals. Hardest part of my job is pronouncing some people's names, but congrats. So yes, I'm on Twitter right now. And if I happen to not see it, you can always hit me up at Paul Tranny on Twitter as well, if you want to bring my attention to something specific. There's more I probably need to look at here. So yeah, Matt, it looks like Matt's brand new. So is that correct? To XD, or maybe new here. I'm totally interested in hearing your opinion and kind of like what you think of it. So I encourage you to download it and give us like your first impression. That would be awesome. Doesn't have sticky items like sticking things to the top or bottom of a page or anything like that. That is definitely something that's on sort of on the list, but you can go to Adobe XD user voice right here. You can find it actually in the menu in XD, and this is where you can give us feedback and also give us feature requests. So Matt, that's actually a feature request in here. Vote it up if you want. But welcome. All right. Fantastic. You're welcome, my friend. Cool. Let's get kind of quiet in here. What do we talk about now? What do we do now? I ran out of material.
I do want to say, actually, for the person who asked about human factors engineering, 2 resources. There's the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society. That is a professional organization, obviously, for human factors engineers, and they have a great listing of graduate and undergraduate programs globally in human factors engineering. And then the other aspect of that is the other professional organization that I would suggest to find out about is CHI, ACM SIG CHI. CHI is CHI. That stands, Association of Computing Machinery. It's the largest professional organization in the world having to do with computing machinery. SIG is Special Interest Group, and then CHI is Computer Human Interaction. They have a lot of special interest groups, but CHI tends to be the one that people who are involved in human-computer interaction design, UX, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, CHI. It stands for Computer Human Interaction. So if you type in ACM/SIG CHI, it'll come up. Mm-hmm. And that's also a really great place to pursue networking and further education if you're interested. It's a great resource, and you'll meet a lot of really wonderful people. And they have a great conference every year that's very well attended, and then a lot of sub-conferences that are really fun. And if you're interested in kind of cutting-edge technology like AR, VR, what are they called? Enchanted objects, Internet of Things, you really ought to get involved in CHI.
Nice.
Yep.
I dig it. Just posting some of those to the chat just for kicks.
Thank you.
And
I'm wondering if my computer is really slow on its own, or if it's the Zoom that did it. But there's some lag.
Oh shoot, we can turn that off. Darn it.
But
that's weird.
Yeah, my computer, it's like I'm
lagging.
Yeah, it's lagging,
I'm so
and
sorry.
I'm doing something, and then it's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. It's my computer is taking a wee little break right now.
It's all good. I wanted to kind of mention you were talking about basically all the planes that were crashing in World War II, and it was just the simple switch that they had to identify. Mm-hmm. I thought it was also interesting, also during World War II, and I was just doing some research on this. The B-17 bomber was the first, nobody could fly that thing, crash it all the time. Why did they crash it? Because it was too complex. They said, nobody can fly this thing. You know what they did? They just implemented a checklist. Mm-hmm. And now you have check rides, and that's how we fly planes today.
Exactly.
So, the simple checklist is powerful. Mm-hmm. Simple and powerful, which is that's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. And I like that as an example of sometimes making a design better is not adding more to it, but actually taking some things away or going simpler, going out of the complexity of the cockpit and going into the simplicity of a piece of paper with some checkboxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I love it.
Let's see if my computer is going to stop freezing. No.
Any advice? Randy's asking if there's any advice, graphic designer, to get into UI or UX design.
Yes.
How do you get your foot in the door there? Or?
Yes. So I just want to say this. No one starts out with a career. Everyone has to start from nothing and build, right? So anyone who's ever had a career that they are proud of and that they love, they had to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So just start off with that.
And it's new too, by the way. Like, you have the opportunity to be an expert in this new field. And I think even today, just having a simple contest saying, hey, you could win Creative Cloud, but here's also a portfolio piece.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a good way to go.
Exactly. So I would say, just like Paul said, get involved in live streams like this, do the contests. If there are hackathons in your area, go to them and participate. Well, they would be design hackathons rather than coding hackathons, although there are some that are multidisciplinary and they'll put designers on teams with coders, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
And then I would say work on creating an excellent portfolio, and there are a couple tricks that you can do to make your portfolio better. One is to look at other portfolios that you admire and people who have careers that you kind of want to emulate. Look at their work and see what they've done and see how they're presenting their work. Though I do want to warn you that people who, if someone has a bad portfolio but they're working, their portfolio is probably bad because they're working. And if their portfolio ever gets better, it probably means that they're looking for a new job. Yeah, like, especially, that's so funny. That's so true. Yeah.
It's like when people update their LinkedIn, you're like, are you looking for a job? I saw that you added this, that, and the other thing, because sometimes you'll get pinged on that. So.
Get involved with Kai. If you're more of on the graphic design end of things, the AIGA is a really great professional network to get involved with. I'm trying to think of some of the others, but I'm blanking. But I know AIGA is a great one, and maybe some people can put on the chat some of their good professional organizations.
Well, I think, and also Creative Mornings.
There you go.
Just like in general.
Yeah, and then do some concept pieces. So kind of like the way that I put together the rationale for this prototype, and I'm building this prototype. You can have concept pieces in your portfolio. They don't have to be, actual work, because if there's that catch-22 where you have a portfolio where you're trying to get work, but you can't get work because in your portfolio it's all concept pieces, not real work. You just have to keep slogging through that part of the beginning of your career, and eventually you'll get past it. You can also do free work, but I just want to give you some warning about that, because there are a lot of people who are not so ethical and will take advantage of that. So I would say have really clear parameters and boundaries about what you'll do if you are doing work for free. And I would say do work for free for an organization that you care a lot about, like maybe a nonprofit, or maybe it's like your kid's soccer team or something like that, where they can actually benefit from you giving to them in that way. And that's a way you can get real work in your portfolio.
Oh, we could have, there we go. Matt was saying no free work, but that is always interesting. It's always debatable. It's kind of fun to be like, because like people will, there's that other, the side of it as, people value definitely like what they pay for, and if they don't pay for it, like, are they really gonna like really appreciate it or whatever? But I like how you're going, and I think Matt actually seconds that. Make it a charitable organization,
exactly.
And like your kid's soccer team, that sort of thing is awesome.
And when you're just starting, it's okay to do a couple of those free things, but have a limit. Like if I get 3 free pieces in my portfolio and that's it,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna have to shut down my computer.
Okay, let's switch to full screen. Let's just go live of us in all our glory. There we go.
Thank you.
I killed that vodka. That was water.
This really is live.
Yeah, do you want to
I have to restart it.
She's going to do a quick restart there. But no, I think that's an interesting subject matter, like your portfolio. A couple things there real fast. We can talk about general portfolio, but also on Behance, because somebody talked about updating their portfolio in Behance.
Yeah.
You also have My Portfolio. You can turn your Behance portfolio into its own website, and it will be linked to all your projects. So it never really, you only have to update in one place. So hopefully you guys are aware of that. Yeah.
Make sure also you have a really good LinkedIn portfolio. If you don't have LinkedIn yet, you really do need LinkedIn. And I know this is going to be really controversial as well. Don't be afraid to talk to recruiters. I'm not saying work with them, but talk to them and do like 15-minute informational sessions with them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see.
Because you can actually run your portfolio by them and get some feedback on your portfolio, and they have quotas that they have to fill every week with like.
Is this teachers? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Sorry.
recruiters.
Oh, recruiters.
So you can get kind of quick, dirty portfolio reviews. I know a lot of people don't like working with recruiters. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't worry about it. But I did it purposefully because I didn't like working with recruiters, and I tend to be the type of person where it's like if I have a lot of resistance to something, I go ahead and do it because I don't want to like box myself in my life. So okay, I'm going to find out why I am uncomfortable working with recruiters and what is it. And I've actually ended up making some really great friends. I have wonderful recruiters that I work with now to get contract workers. And they actually really helped me refine my portfolio to a point where it was quite easy for me to kind of up-level my career. So you don't have to do it. It's a controversial piece of advice, but... Well,
another way to go is Behance has portfolio reviews as well.
Go.
And we have a whole week. And if you guys are familiar with Adobe Creative Jams, a lot of times we'll have Behance portfolio reviews there on site. And then, so that's, again, honestly, all it is a great way to connect with other creatives in your city. So you get your portfolio reviewed, you get inspired, and the big thing is you get to meet everybody in your city that's a cool designer, essentially. So that's a freaking commercial. I was a little commercial snippet, but totally worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's all good because we have plenty more portfolios to review. Can we actually take a look maybe at a couple more of these? That would be awesome. So, Mr. Brad Diedrich has created a portfolio as well. Katoomba Music. Let's jump in. That's a font. Ooh, I love that transition. Zoop. Are you digging this? You're probably relaunching, but this is just kind of cool.
That's really cool.
Like,
I love that.
Watch me go zoop.
Yeah.
I think I just love this is, and it's deep. How many screens we got here? 9 screens. So anyway. Great job, Mr. Brad. Katoomba Music. The only thing I'd say is I'm not crazy about this font. I'm not gonna lie. That's just me. This one.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
I would say just for usability purposes, if you have an important call to action, you want people to do something like click a button, I would say keep your font very simple and plain. Sticking to something like Helvetica if you're not sure which font to use, it's a pretty safe bet. If you download the Apple iOS guidelines, then you'll get SF Pro? Something like that. That's a good...
Display Pro?
Yeah,
Display
SF
Pro,
Display Pro. It's a good kind of simple font, and I would say leave the font with flourishes and things like that, maybe for big headlines or something that's more about emotional impact rather than something for people to do.
You're right, because there are some fonts that are meant to be body copy and some are meant to be headlines.
Yeah.
And some guy liked the font though.
Yeah.
And that's his name, some guy.
Oh, really?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny.
But yeah, no, it's a beautiful font. It's just for usability's sake for that, those interactive pieces. They need to be kind of, I say, like dead obvious. So even
I like going to these, the sort of the experts in that area, I think, as typekit. So essentially right down here, you can sort fonts like you're just saying. You said it might be more of a heading font. I can look for heading font or paragraph fonts as well. So there is that, FYI. But I like it. Honestly, I think you did a fantastic job, Mr.
Really great.
Brad. So we're gonna give away Creative Cloud, another Creative Cloud here within the next hour. How's it working? Yeah, turn that off.
that's what did it.
Yeah.
Oh
Bad
my
idea.
gosh. Did you see?
Is it going slow or faster?
No, I think it's okay now.
Okay.
I was having some technical difficulties. My apologies. I think we're back on track though.
Oh, and I was going to say one more thing about portfolio since we were talking about it. Again, my portfolio, since I'm still on my screen, by the way, this Adobe portfolio will link up your Behance projects, turn it into a portfolio, and put work in your portfolio of work that you want to get. Doesn't have to be stuff that you've done. Like, let it be work that you want to get, even if it's personal or whatever. So this goes right in with the person who wants to get into UI. Like, that's what your portfolio should have. If you want that work, put in your portfolio.
Yep, absolutely. It's really good.
All right,
really
I think
good
we're
suggestion.
back. Is it? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there's
Yay.
a couple of funky things that have happened now that I've gotten back in after the weird slowdown in my machine. So there's some cleanup that I'm gonna have to do, which anyone who's ever worked as a professional designer, you've had this happen to you before.
Why'd I raise my? Did you want me to raise my hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone in the room who's worked
Everybody?
as a designer. Fun technical difficulties, but I just call them Bob Ross moments, and I just figure out how to fix them, and I just move on. So there we go. So we're gonna fix this. We're gonna get our little.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna do.
Oh my
I think.
gosh! What is happening? I need to get a new personal computer, guys.
Is it having a life of its own?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if you want, we can hook you up with a different laptop.
That would be great.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, not to take home or anything.
No.
But nice
yeah,
try.
I get it.
I see that little gleam in your eye. Like, laptop, huh? Take that with me.
Yeah. It is really slow. That's okay.
Boom.
All right, so we got to get this little. This is my cheater background.
I like it.
That's my cheater background.
Hey, J. Christ, good to have you here. Welcome. Juan Pablo wants to work for you, Ashley, and he also wants a new laptop. So if we can make that happen.
You and me both.
You know what I like about you, Juan Pablo? You're like, if you don't ask, you don't get. So
Exactly.
it's okay to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, hey, can I get Creative Cloud too while you're at it? Hey, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. I totally dig it.
Good on you. Same thing. You want UI UX? Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you want to hire me?
Yeah, totally. We're in a hiring freeze right now, but keep looking on. It's Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's in Seattle, but we have some distributed teams down here. We are going to be hiring soon, so keep an eye out. And when they say, how did you hear about this job, you can put in that you saw Ashley's live stream.
Oh, yeah.
So
Shout out to Oracle for letting us steal you for a couple
for loaning
days.
me out. Yeah.
And I know you're like 3 weeks new in the job, and is that okay that I say that?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just holding my head and laughing because it's been a lot, you guys. It's been really stressful. I have very supportive people here on and off screen, and I have copious amounts of tea and people who
and we have a
my
professional
back.
photographer here.
A professional photographer here and professional tea maker.
Thank you. Hey, Azer, thank you for when you guys do post a prototype to hashtag Adobe Live. Like, just let us know. You can let us know in the chat when you post something. It's just a little reminder that that it's out there. So,
Yeah.
FYI.
Okay, so now
Oh, and I like it.
I had a computer malfunction a couple minutes ago. Telling people off screen.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Okay. I think we're getting back all the funny things. Or getting back to where I was before all the funny things started happening.
Yeah, Lena, she's just using her little touchpad
I've got
on her. Yeah.
I keep forgetting
Just
it's
like
in
me.
there.
Mine's just for show. You know, I'm like, I'm going to start drawing more.
Oh, come on.
I'm checking. Azer, I'm checking yours out now, buddy.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That'll do her. Okay. So this is where you take the picture. I'm talking to myself. This is where you can retake next. Got it? Okay. I know where I'm at now in my flow.
Rajwal, thank you for, you might have posted one as well.
I'm back to where I was.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
All right. And then we need a couple more things. All right.
Thank you, Tim, for posting that. So yeah, just at least 3 screens. The theme is shopping, and have at it.
Okay.
So awesome, Mint. Good to have you here. Welcome. I like how I'm actually just looking at. So let me get back to it. Azer's like uses a lot of Adobe stock, just like placeholder images, which is perfect. I do the same thing.
Believe it or not, this teapot is from Adobe stock.
Oh, is it really?
Yep. So that was something that I was really excited about.
Can I? Cool.
Oh, it might take forever. Because it is my computer.
I guess I could show you. Yeah,
I
that's.
can show you on yours.
Yeah, and then
You can see my
a
spinning
little.
rainbow wheel of death, you guys.
Let me just switch. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll switch to me. So this is essentially what you were doing is right here in stock. And I noticed that you actually bought, like with a couple credits, were able to get like 100 illustrations for like 1 credit or
Yep.
whatever is what it looked like you actually had.
Exactly.
Like some of these, like
one.
this.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, look at that. Awesome. So, from here, you can obviously like license and save it directly to your library or download it to your computer. Currently, that's what I'll do. I'm actually going to get this and I'm going to put it in the miscellaneous. Licensed, saved, done. You guys probably know where this goes. Let me switch over to Photoshop. It's going to be in my library. And then you can take that library and actually import it into XD. We're working on supporting bitmaps as we speak. But I want to show you one more thing really fast right in here. I certainly don't know the future of assets, quite frankly. But there's this marketplace. So assets market right in here. You could do a search for teapot. And again, pro tip just for you guys, hidden little thing. These are all actually free. So you can take advantage of these while they last. So, yeah. Cool, fun stuff.
Yeah. We're back in business, baby. This
We're
is
back in business.
making me feel so happy. I think it was the tea.
So Mind, so XD is it's currently in beta, so there's no full version yet, but hopefully soon. And a lot of those like, sort of like what's coming, when is it coming, a lot of those questions are good to ask Talon and Danielle when they come on. They will be coming on in an hour, so we can kind of get that info out of them. Try to extract some intel from them. So yeah. Wow, awesome. Very cool. So what are some other things? You know what they've been doing even with XD, by the way, is just like going through and releasing updates every month. So I feel like some people that maybe have tried it maybe a year ago, obviously we're still doing development on a monthly basis. So some people are like, oh, it doesn't do this. Well, that was like last month, I feel. So even I'm just going to jump out to XD, and they have a schedule. You could actually see sort of everything that they've released over time, what's new. I have to reference this. It's actually hard to keep up is what it comes down to. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Talon's team is just...
the UI resources. So that's updated. Pasting styles is something you can do now too. So if and obviously all your assets that you have right there, that whole asset panel is fairly new. So...
and this is, I'm still in the lo-fi version.
Ooh, look at this. We got a 2-up action going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so this is still, a very basic prototype that I'm doing. I'm doing the lo-fi today, and tomorrow we'll be doing higher fi, but I really just keep the colors basic when I'm doing lo-fi.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That is perfect, because as soon as you start adding color, this little hovering art director start chiming in, and then we have to throw them across the room.
Exactly.
We don't want to get violent on this on the stream.
Exactly.
Anita, welcome back. Good to have you here from the UK. Juan Pablo from South America. Where you at? Where you from? Where do you live in South America? Just curious. So we'll see. Gabriel, I don't know if there's any future plans to implement multiple effects. So drop shadow, glow, things like that. Yeah. Actually, I wonder. I think you could. I'm going to try that right now. Because...
There we go.
I think what you can do is... I'm just going to test this out. Group. All right, so yeah, I was trying to see if you could add multiple effects if you grouped a shape and maybe added an effect to it and did some things like that. It doesn't quite work, so never mind. If you think about it, adding multiple effects is fairly new. I mean, it wasn't up till like, say, 2 years ago that even in Photoshop could you add multiple drop shadows. Why you want to do that? There actually is some reasons for it.
Actually, I want to add one more little thing in this photo.
Andreas, you can't currently link smart objects that you've created in Illustrator or Photoshop, but honestly, that's coming. So the whole idea of having a library and pulling in that asset from your Creative Cloud library into XD, that's coming. Like, yeah, just hold on. It's coming for sure.
It's coming. That sounds like, I don't know if I should be excited or scared.
Nah, yeah, no, it's okay, right? Is it okay? Are you scared? It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It'll be fine.
Okay.
You don't have to do file import, like literally just having a linked file. Wouldn't you love that? Just to have that teapot or a logo that you made in Illustrator, and it's gonna automatically update across all your screens because you changed it in Illustrator, and then boom, you can update it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you so much, Min, for joining us. You do have to take off, so that's understandable. You could just leave the stream on, by the way, even if you have to go. I don't know. How many computers do you have? Just keep the stream going on all screens in your house, even when you leave. Why not? I don't know. Is that wrong? I think you are. Ashley, I know you're working, but you're also being called out. Albin says, like, why don't you update your Behance portfolio? we talked about that a little bit ago. But
yeah, the reason I haven't updated, thank you for calling me out, I haven't updated my Behance portfolio in probably 5 years, 4 years. I mean, so there are a couple of reasons why. One is a lot of my work I actually can't show. And the other thing is I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
I have a program to set up, research program to set up now that is taking all my time.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's what you talked about earlier. It's like, honestly, like if your portfolio's all up to date, are you looking for work? Like, like the out-of-date portfolios are the people that are usually working.
Yeah.
That's what I've experienced as well. So.
But my actual.
No shame.
Exactly. If you go to designandthink.com, that's actually fairly updated my work on there. But my Behance portfolio I have let go. I also had to delete my Facebook. I don't have Facebook anymore. I just don't have it because I didn't have time. So I just let that go too. There are a lot of things I've just had to let go in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds very kind of sad.
Oh my goodness. And then let's actually I'm gonna finish up this little flow here. Save. I'm gonna do this one.
And I mentioned this before as well. Actually, let me jump back. Since you're working, this gives me a chance to show stuff. So we'll just switch to my screen. Even mine needs to be updated. But essentially, you can have your projects turn into your portfolio. It's like the easiest way to make things happen. So right in here, edit your portfolio. It's now responsive, but this is literally the interface when it comes to, you can even connect Photoshop Lightroom to it. That's awesome. But this is where you're adding content from from anywhere you want, but you can see all my projects are already kind of sucked in, and then you can actually edit the URL. So there's that. Ariel's up at 5:07 a.m. Have you been up all night, or did you just wake up? You haven't gotten any sleep? Wow. That's dedication. Don't worry, it might pay off. You should submit a portfolio. In fact, let's look right over here. Adobe Live. Submit a prototype. Yeah, if you want. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just hooking some things.
So,
up.
Yeah, just go ahead and create a prototype around shopping, and just make sure it's a minimum of 3 screens. See here, and then share it. Magic share button. And then just post to Twitter with the hashtag Adobe Live, because that's what I'm looking at right now. The latest here. Did you guys take a look at snap trips? I don't remember. Was that in the previous? But snap trips, it's cool.
And I mentioned this earlier, but it's...
You guys did? Okay, good.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
cool. Go ahead.
It's pretty important to the way that you group things. So your groups
You can
and
switch back to hers.
your symbols end up becoming the interactive pieces. So, for example, if you didn't group this tag section here, you wouldn't be able to say on the prototype section, tell XD, hey, if someone clicks anywhere in this tag section, I want that to be interactive and I want it to come to such and such a place. So
group them together, and then that way that whole box is going to be a hotspot, if you will.
Exactly. And
That
I
is
realized I
awesome.
actually stuck it in the wrong place. So I'm gonna pull it to none for just a minute. Categories. Stuck in the wrong place.
Awesome. All right. Yes, and you do have to go. If you do have to go, this is actually being. This is going to be posted on YouTube later as well. So just make sure you subscribe. That's through the Creative Cloud channel. Just FYI.
I need these to go here.
Is it possible to animate the coffee pot?
Kind of. The animations that happen are the transitions and the easing. I mean, they're not. I don't necessarily want to call them animations, but that's how you can make things move.
Multiple screens, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we could actually do old-fashioned animation, which is have the teapot be like at one XY coordinate and then start changing the XY coordinate slowly, and then as we actually flip through the screens, it would look like this teapot was moving.
Yeah.
We could do that.
The short of it is no, but
I was trying to be nice.
you wanna say yes.
I really do. I really do.
I do too.
But yeah, in terms of doing kind of complex animations, that it's just right now with XD, it's just kind of your most important interactions. So I'm actually going to check this out and see if I wired things up correctly. We have a little flow. So one of our viewers yesterday had the idea for this rather than I think it was my icons.
I still like my
script.
icons.
You like my icons?
I do.
I might have to change it from this to my icons just for Paul. So here's the sign-in screen, and yes, sign in and log in are 2 words, not 1 word. The welcome screen and the call to action is create, and this should also be hooked up as well. It's gonna ask for camera, and again, this is lo-fi. This is bugging me too. I'm gonna change it, and tomorrow we'll actually go into the iOS guideline kit and bring in the right assets.
Oh, I see. I see.
But I just want to make sure that goes away, and if you wanted to go there, okay, and then you take a picture. And if you want to I need to wire those up. But
and I liked your functionality even with that previous screen. I don't know if you can go back.
Well, I can actually go here. And then this.
Yeah, so just photo, document, whiteboard. So like depending on the type of photo you're taking, like it will, obviously a document will be black and white, and I assume the camera is it's gonna treat the camera differently.
Filters.
Little
exactly.
filters.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's the word.
The action is you can slide through the different filters. It's similar to how Microsoft Office Lens works. This is how you can access your camera roll, and this is where you can turn on and off Flash. However, these, you can grab these icons from kits from the Noun project, but I was actually trying to stick to everything in XD or Adobe stock for this, just for that kind of added challenge. Only stay in this environment, what can you do?
Yeah.
And you can do a lot.
No, that is good.
And then next, whoop, that's where one of my, okay, so in order to keep going with the flow, I need to hook that guy up. Cool. So there we go. Back into the prototyping screen.
And then you could do the, the whole select all to see where everything's being wired up.
Oh.
Yeah, Command 0 will put everything in frame. Command A will show you everything that's wired up.
Nice.
And it's nice that you could, because I've noticed when I started putting things together, like, I would start moving around my artboards just to give them all, like, more space, and just like, after a while it got really hard to tell what was going where. But it's nice that you can kind of space those out and give them as much room as possible.
Absolutely.
All right, so
what is it?
Looks like you.
I forget where I ended up. I ended up here. This is where I ended up. Okay. I want this guy. That's where I ended up. Here.
Yeah.
And I want titles right. Categories, tags. They all take us here. And take us here. Okay. I'm actually going to jump ship.
Somebody mentions for the app name could be Scribble, SCRBL. You know how that's kind of a trendy thing to do, like drop
that's a really
all the
cool
vowels.
idea. I like that. Oh, I did that one. Okay. And then I need the little where did it?
Oh, is that true, Ariel? Ariel's watching from the Philippines. It's 5 a.m. Where it's says it's the third slowest, like, internet connected country, and one of the most expensive in the world.
Oh, God.
In the Philippines. So I really appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
Expensive and slow, and you're watching. Our heart goes out to you.
But thank you very much for.
And 5 a.m. like. Thank you. I hope you win Creative Cloud, is what I'm saying.
I got the create flow done.
Oh, you did?
I was hoping to at least get that done by the end of the 2 hours, but we did it sooner, even with technical difficulties. We're actually pacing quite well.
Good. We're like tracking well.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this done.
Yeah,
we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this.
Yeah. Amazingly, we'll actually get through a lo-fi prototype pretty much today. So we're jamming. Okay, so this is actually a lot more complex because we've got more elements in here. So we've got, I'm going to flip back to design now. And then this one, I can make this.
See you, Matthias. Has to go.
Bye-bye. So this is where we want to show the teapot again. We want to show this guy here.
And then you're gonna have some additional. Have to create some additional icons underneath that, right?
Yes. So this would be a pencil icon, a chat icon, a share text message icon, and then this one is the publish icon. And so those are some things, Paul, that maybe as I'm going through.
Yes! I get to I can kind of make some things.
You can jump in and start making some of these icons. So we've got, these are just my hand-drawn ones. We've got the pencil icon. We've got the chat bubble. We've got the share and then publish. Usually I think there's 3, but hand-drawn
So what's the difference between share and publish?
Right, that's a really good question. And you know what? This is a little interaction design usability question. Actually, what's going to end up here rather than publishing, this would end up so this would end up actually in what I called search. And this would end up with the search icon. So this is if you wanted to search this kind of like the community for other hand-drawn icons.
Social aspect, kind of.
But we could actually change this from search to publish. so that if you click this, you know that it would end up here. And instead of this saying search, it said published. And that could help people make the connection between those.
Yeah, I like the idea of, having some connection like that. Ideally, that should be the same icon. What that is, if it's called search or whatever, is it, do you call it community? We're open to ideas, guys.
Yeah. So
the social area of this.
So this is if I want to share this icon with other people that are using the app and let them comment on it, favorite it, and save it to their icon library if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about that. And here's another thing, quite frankly. As we're doing that, for one, is regardless of what it is, we could always make it a symbol and then change it as many times as we want.
Exactly.
Oh, ShareCon. Share icon.
MyCon, ShareCon.
Just add con to everything.
Exactly. I think that's fine for now. And then...
I'm going to have to think about that. And then even the placement, just not to throw you off, but is it my icons, my favorites, then there's the capture, create, and then you have community. I was just trying to think
the order.
Just
what's
kind
the
of
order that makes the most sense? Absolutely. So those are really great questions, and if we were doing this for real, we would start doing some usability testing. So we would take something, I would start with something like this, with just the 3x5 cards hand drawn like I have here, and actually take the 3x5 cards out and test with actual users. And you can actually have a couple variations of the navigation systems in your 3x5 cards.
And what did you? Okay, so there you have. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So
that's good.
This one I've got. It's hard to see because of the light and the cameras, but in this one it's home, search, or that's the community aspect. There's create, there's favorites, and then there's account. So there's the order that's up for grabs, and then there's also the icons themselves that are up. Sorry, let me say it this way. The order that's up for grabs, the label, so what each thing is called, and then the icon that represents the label. And those are great things to get suggestions from you guys on, and I would love that.
Yeah, this is... I'm going to
bring this a little smaller.
Think about this, and...
Better.
Search is pretty good because the magnifying glass is actually not bad as well, just FYI, because I just looked at Instagram, it's the same thing. The search area is really the community area. It's where you find stuff. So
let me know. I'm going to keep going with this, and let me know if anyone has some good ideas in the categories. I actually wrote them in. Condo, what is it? Household. Okay. And right now, since we're going to be talking about the icons, I think I'm just going to, again, draw little circles as placeholders. Oh. To constrain my proportions.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of just doing some research. I know you have your boards, but I was just kind of looking at what else is out there that how other companies have approached some of these same problems.
Exactly. Yep, we call those comparative analyses.
Ooh.
You can
Juan
be on...
Pablo. What? Sorry. Look at Juan. I just have to say, Juan Pablo lexicon.
Oh, Juan Pablo, you're good.
Slow clap. That's such a good.
Oh, wait, is that
so
for
clever.
the whole app?
Yeah.
The name of the entire
pretty clever.
app.
Man, he's good.
That's great.
You're hired.
You're hired.
You're hired.
Yeah.
You're the man.
the other thing, I have a lot of respect for you guys sitting here and watching this, because watching someone do design work, like, that's commitment right there. Because some of this is not that fun, like drawing placeholder circles and, you know.
No, it's good. It's perfect. That's awesome.
I think I just want to grab
Exploricon.
Oh, I remember. I was actually going to use
Juan Pablo's our honorary employee today.
Yeah.
Yay, honorary.
Yeah.
He's kind of honorary art director at this point, because he's kind of like, that's a visionary
that is
thing that he's done.
It's a total
like, he's kind of like, he's like boss level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juan Pablo's our boss.
He's our honorary art director today. Just tell us what to do, man. You got it going on.
What I'm doing.
Oh yes, don't. Thank you, Drew. Just mentions repeat grid. So
yeah,
sorry.
that's absolutely. So I'm actually in the. Who was it that said repeat grid?
Drew.
Drew
Looper.
I am
Thank you,
on the on ramp to take off the repeat grid in a moment. I'm actually going to make this whole thing part of the repeat grid. So
sweet.
You got my back, kiddo.
Awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll just keep rattling on, and but Andreas says, they just typically just have this it's kind of in the background, and like I'm at home, like I'm working at home, and are you in an office now?
Yeah. Okay. So oh my goodness, we have the most beautiful view. We're right near Pike's Place Market, but we're on the 27th floor.
Oh wow.
And I look out onto the Puget Sound, and then I turn this way and I see the Space Needle.
Really? Do you just have a certain stance when you just be up over there, be like boss stance, like you just feel like, queen of the world, king of the world? You're like all these your people down there are like your minions. Like, I don't know. This is maybe crazy fantasies.
I don't ever want to leave the office, because it's like the view is just so spectacular, and our lunchroom is actually we look out onto the Sound and then the
That's gorgeous.
Space Needle.
Sounds so gorgeous.
Oh my goodness,
and then you moon people a lot. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm always the responsible designated driver friend. I have friends that do that, but I always make sure that everyone gets home safely.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's why you need to go out with us.
To make sure you all get home safely.
We need a parent sometimes. Sometimes we need a parent.
I am basically the quintessential English nanny. And
you are awesome. That's cool. It's so funny.
Because I'm bringing in an image of a teapot.
You're like tea, classical music, responsible adult, disciplined.
Set up your assets first before you start designing. Use symbols.
Good. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh my goodness. So that's probably a little bigger than what we'd want. So I'm going to bump it down just a little bit. And this is yes, I like to cheat. I did this earlier with the...
Somebody did mention that teapot is begging to have arms and legs and some eyes.
Start singing.
Adorable.
If anyone does that in the chat,
adorable.
I will mail you a handwritten thank you note.
You will. I'll do it.
A dancing teapot. Come on. And if a bunch of them show up, then it will be a contest, and I will write a handwritten thank you note to the best one. Because I can't do it for everybody. Because I don't.
That does sound like a good time.
Have enough time.
Sounds like a good time. Oh, I also had a great idea, by the way. So, because we were thinking about these icons, right? So just even thinking about styles and just stuff that's out there, you could take a sketch of a pencil or a magnifying glass, that image, you can do an image search in, say, Adobe Stock to see other styles of that same thing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Kind of a good idea.
You want to, could we
do that?
Could we do it right now?
Yeah, I could. Yep.
I don't know if my brain could handle that, because I'm trying to.
Right now.
Do this one. I think that's okay.
Yes, Juan Pablo does mention, it's good. Just even, you don't know what you're gonna, like, even sitting here, I think we're all learning today, essentially. So that's why this is why we do it, guys, is to
and I also
add value to your lives.
I don't design by myself. I've always designed with teams, because if I design myself, every app would be about tea. And my career would never get anywhere.
That's funny.
No, but I kid, I joke, but it's actually really important to have a really good team around you, because you're going to get different perspectives, you're going to get different expertises, however you pluralize that. And I just, I love my teams as well. So whoever it was that was talking about the repeater grid, we're going to bust that out right now. So I grouped everything together. I'm going to hit that puppy, and we get our fun little grippies. Is grippies, should we ask Talon?
Yeah, that's technically, the technical term is grippies.
I'm going to get the grippies.
But we'll ask Talon that, yeah.
Ooh. Look at that. Ooh, a little too far. Now, I actually want more space. So, I'm gonna get 50 pixels. Come on, 50. Don't you hate it when that happens? You're like, I want 50, 49, 51, 49, 51. Mm-hmm. Look at that. There's my little repeater grid. And where's my grippy? And get you out of there.
So we could use a grid. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but there is a grid in XD.
Yep.
Just as an FYI, when you click on the artboard, the title of the artboard, it will be on the properties on the side, grid. So thank you for pointing that out.
And so there is this grid, and then there's also this grid here. And actually, when I've been drawing icons inside of XD, I'll set up. Sorry.
Sorry.
View show artboard grid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like graph paper.
I think I'm doing basically that's.
Yeah, there's the
cool.
grid system, so that you have, and I use that when I have broader canvases to work on, but with mobile, I pretty much, at this point, I'm just sticking to the 20 pixel gutters, and using some with the 50 in between, 20 to 50 in between, 10, 20, 50. But with the artboard grid, I use that for drawing my icons to help with, like when I made my pencil icon and that kind of thing earlier, I would actually have this show up on the artboard. Yep.
I'm gonna just, turn that on and.
Yeah. And then it can help you, especially if you're using the pen tool for things, pen and line tools for putting icons together. That little grid it's really helpful. Yeah. I might actually bump this up. I don't think I need that much space. I can get away with this. Okay. Oh, that's so fun. Got that. I did it.
Huh. What's the if you put a face and arms and legs on the teapot, what is its name? Earl Grey. Bad jokes, everybody. But I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
If it's a guy, it's like Earl Grey.
Yeah, I do. You know what? I do have a strange laugh. But everyone that I'm related to has strange laughs, so I blame it on them.
Oh, everybody in your family?
Yeah.
Huh. So you're designing, I'm designing. We are making things happen. Hopefully you guys out there can also be designing as well. And I should probably look at that. I'm keeping track of the hashtag Adobe Live on Twitter. So if you want to make a prototype, post it to, basically share it, post it to Twitter with hashtag Adobe Live, and I'll be able to see it. Why? Sure, for fun and prizes, because we're giving away Creative Cloud every couple hours. I'll go ahead and show this one, if you don't mind. Tiffany Chin. Yeah, let's check this out. Tiffany Chin. Oh, this is fantastic. She actually downloaded the program yesterday, designed her first prototype today. So awesome. And again, that's Tiffany Chin.
Yay, Tiffany, look at that.
Poke Wave.
Oh,
right?
she likes poke.
Poke? Sorry, I'm saying it entirely wrong. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. See what she did here? She, let me kind of go back. I'm clicking through all the screens, but so clicking here, it looks like it's like maybe some micro interaction or something, but it actually is going to a different screen. All this separate screen has on it is this little 1050. Click on that. Submit. Right. Wait, it just charged my credit card. What did you do, Tiffany? Just kidding. Very cool. Yes. I like it.
Nice job.
You know what? I think she deserves Creative Cloud. Is that all right?
Yeah.
She did 13 screens,
yes.
well designed.
Yes.
Does that work?
And we love poke. So.
We love Poke. Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You did a great job.
Congratulations,
Nice
Tiffany
job.
Chin. Yay. Oh.
Yay.
Hopefully you're in chat. Oh, there you are. Yes. You just won Creative Cloud for a year, so we will be in touch with you. Specifically Gus. He's the man with the real power here. We'll get in touch with you, so congratulations. So what is poke? Poke is just raw fish.
Yeah, it's
chopped up
raw
little
fish, rice,
lime juice.
Yeah, usually there's like sriracha or something like that they'll put on it.
These guys know. Everybody who lives in San Francisco is a foodie, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm convinced. Yeah, right?
Everyone who lives in Seattle just likes food.
Oh, they just like food. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I know. It's funny when I come here and we'll have lunch and I'm like, can we just not talk about our lunch? Can we just eat it? Just enjoy your lunch. Like, yeah, this blah, blah, blah. Everybody like has an opinion about food, which I love, but sometimes I'm just like,
sometimes I'm hungry.
why are you complaining about the chef who made it? You brought that from home. You made it. No, just joking.
I just want to eat something. General categories created by me.
Andreas, don't worry, you have time because we're giving away Creative Cloud plenty. About every 2 hours, to be specific. Kevin really wants this idea to happen. An app where you can design your own teapot, choose the colors, material, patterns, form, shape.
I should have done that.
That would have been like right up your alley. Right.
Yeah. So I just have to say that you guys have some pretty clever people on the chat, and I appreciate the humor. That's the other thing about designers that tends to happen is they tend to be funny people. Funny and fun to work with. So
nice. I would agree. Claudia just added a prototype. I'll check that out. Again, I kind of was even going through this some more. Tiffany did a fantastic job, just by FYI. Like the icons, everything spot on. All right. Can you go, can you do this, maybe the split screen? There we go. So you could still work, and then I can kind of show off some designs still. Claudia's N1 spectacles. Kowalski. All right. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like it. So basically, this gives you this app is all about. You pick the sunglasses that you want, and then it'll access your camera and like show them on your face.
that's really cool.
That's a great VR use case. Wow, super awesome.
Did you do that for me because I need to get glasses?
Oh, yeah.
I really do need to make an appointment with the optometrist.
Oh, that's awesome. All good. Claudia, you did a fantastic job. I think this app definitely has huge potential.
Yep.
Once VR hits and it's on our phones, then which just needs facial recognition built in, but it's coming. It's good stuff.
It's already grouped. Okay.
Did you know it's funny about sunglasses, like there's really only one company that owns most sunglasses. You think they're different brands, but it really comes from like one major company.
That's the same with bicycles.
And they own the sunglass huts and all that stuff. It's all one big company that owns it all. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, bicycles are similar. There's a couple of companies that, what is it? Giant, I think, is made in the U.S. Or I forget. But then most every other bicycle, unless it's a custom-made bike, and you know that for sure, is made in like one of 2 factories in Taiwan.
Right? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. Oh, and shout out. This is fantastic, too. Albin, you did a great job here. This is looking so good. I love how clean this is, by the way. Start shopping.
Nice. I like the purple.
We'll overlook missing the H there. We'll overlook that.
Oh, I do that all the time. So many typos. That's another reason why we work in teams, is so we can catch each other's typos.
Yeah, hey. You're not a real designer if you're not doing typos.
Exactly. You're not.
These are more design elements than words, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of what it ends up like.
Exactly.
But this looks great, and I just think it's just fantastic. Mm-hmm. 3 screens. Add some more to it, sure. But I love these little accents. I don't know if that's coming through on the stream, but just these little 3 dashes. I don't know what that is, but I'm all about it. Right?
Famous last words. I don't know what that is, but I'm all about it.
I know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I think I'm going to poke it. No, I'm just joking. Famous last words. No, don't. I'm just kidding.
I'm never going to a tide pool with you. That's just
not
a tide pool.
A tide pool? Yeah.
You do know what a tide pool is, right?
What is a tide? What do you mean, like
a tide pool? Someone on the chat, tell them what a tide pool is. I'm busy.
Tide pool. I don't know.
Google it.
Okay, I will. But let's just put it on Ashley's screen because I don't know what's going to come up. I don't know what you're trying to get me in trouble here. I like it. Even, again, hats off to Albin. Great job. A lot of the language and everything is really good. Oh, a tide pool is where all the creatures live.
Thank you.
I don't know what that is, but I think I'm gonna poke it. What is that? I think I'm gonna poke it. And then it's like on your face.
And this is why.
Yeah, I would not. Yeah, last long.
We're never taking him to a tide pool.
Oh, okay. Kevin, you shared 3 posts. I'll scroll down further on Twitter. Make sure we're doing split screen. Shout out to you guys, and we can watch Ashley work as well. Oh, I see. It's on Instagram. Kevin, what is your Instagram name? Might be easier. And we do say share it to Twitter. That's why I didn't see it, but I'll still check it out if you posted it on Instagram. Okay, so yeah, Azer, yeah, I went through yours earlier. I don't know if I did it online, but I did mention that you used Adobe Stock, so that's perfect. You know, you're able to just kind of pull in some images. Yeah, I think it's cool. Clicking right here, you can make that go away in the center. I'd probably move this button, quite frankly. Since this makes it hide, I'd probably move that like off to the side or something, because honestly, that's the first place I clicked. You could even argue that you don't even need that button, that anywhere else you click will make the menu hide. But yeah, I love that transition. Sort of the push up works quite well. And push down. So fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
All right, look at you, Kevin. I'll see what I can do. I'll check it out here in a second. Oh, thank you so much, Claudia. Yeah, so thank you for pointing that out. Cedric, thank you so much for mentioning the other contest. We have a Make It Impactful contest. So, in fact, I'll show you this is the URL which Cedric posted. But this actually gives you more time. I know some people maybe there's like a lot of pressure on you to like create something today. Not to worry, because really you just need to create a landing page or home page around making an impact. And you have until September 23rd to do that. So you have another 10 days to enter this contest. Okay. Sweet. We have about 10 minutes. So I don't know if you want to, can you switch to Ashley's screen if you, boom. Oh, glorious.
Mm-hmm. And we're just about ready to finish up the filter and sort flow.
Yeah, do your thing. We do have Danielle and Talon coming up here in 10 minutes. Those are the people that you need to grill for new features and try to get them to spill the beans about stuff. It's always kind of fun. So,
Okay.
and Brooklyn, hello, how you doing? From Vancouver. One place I've not been.
Vancouver?
Yeah.
Vancouver is lovely.
Yeah, you're just south of there.
Mm-hmm. We're actually going to do a cool transition when we hit the filter icon. This one.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm not seeing it. I'm looking for your.
Slide down.
Trying to find your prototype on Twitter. As long as you post it with hashtag Adobe Live, should be able to see it. So that's all you need to do. Yeah, so my cloud VIP, we did go through the whole idea and concepting phase, did a lot of sort of a lo-fi prototype here. So a lot of this happened on paper first, kind of working out, the idea and the flow. Just kind of went through that already, and that's what a lot of the sketches are already.
Mm-hmm.
Simple idea, sketching, and then going from there. Yeah.
Let's do this one.
Nice. So welcome, I think, Antonio, you are new, so it's good to have you here.
Okay.
Welcome, my friend.
Let's check this out.
Andreas has uploaded yours. Fantastic. UX Andreas. Ooh, I like your Twitter name.
Oh, I still need to put the title in.
Oh, very cool. Can you Let's do a split screen. Again, just a shout out to you guys. Yeah. Andreas, this is looking good. Your shopping app. Go through that. Apparently you want me to buy this book, so I will proceed to check out. Right, it's like already in my cart. That's one way. That's one way to do sales. Guess what? We already put it in there for you. It's that good. Yeah, I know what you want. You want this book.
You might want to be careful with that.
It's like, it's that good. It was
Yeah.
the Design of Everyday Things book.
Which is
So.
an amazing book. That is a great book.
Standard shipping or really fast shipping. Standard shipping is free. Really fast shipping is expensive. I just love the language in this.
Yes.
We are going with the really fast, expensive shipping. I love the simplicity of it. And this follows, I like what's going on here is this kind of follows your similar design as well. Like, you know, white, pop of color, black, really nice.
Yeah. I tend to gravitate toward minimalist design anyway, even in the hi-fi state.
Okay.
And that's a beautiful little
Right.
calculator.
Yeah, a little credit card.
Ah!
It's a credit card little.
So the keypad, the way that the keypads are arranged, this design, the 0, 8, 987, 654, 321, that is a human factors design. And Alphonse Champanis, who we talked about earlier with the levers, with the wing flaps and the wheels, he designed that along with another researcher at Bell Laboratories in the 1950s. So, yep.
Interesting.
So if you want to be an impactful designer, design something like that.
Right? 2 minutes.
Ooh.
2 minutes, people. 2 minutes.
So we've actually gone.
Stay with us, guys. We do have, of course, Danielle Morimoto, Talon Wadsworth
Yeah.
from Adobe. That's looking good.
So look at what we've
Let's
got.
we'll just show yours full screen.
Yeah, to see what we've gotten so far. So landing screen, sign-in screen, create, and then the camera flow. We'll fix that tomorrow. Take the picture. We're good. We don't want to retake or edit. Click next. And then I'm skipping over a couple steps just for.
You did a lot while we were chatting, by the way.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
We're going to save
Nice.
that. And we've got the little. Oh, I need to change the teapot. I'll fix that later. And then here's our stream. And then if we want to filter. And
Filter
if we
on.
want to sort. And we're going to apply that. Good. We got pretty far today.
You did fantastic. This is coming together beautifully. Thank you so much, Ashley
you for your
Karr,
help, Paul.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Join us tomorrow, but stay here, guys. We're going to have Talon and good old Danielle up next. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.